Oh, good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. So we are here together. I appreciate everyone's patience last week with the technical difficulties I had. And I have to share that I had to laugh at myself because we were going to be talking about self-love. And I had probably done just about everything that week to be super aware of when I'm loving to myself and when I'm not. And I so totally failed. I was like, the one thing that for me sometimes is a challenge is getting enough sleep and making sure that I take care of myself in that way. And so when you know it, my daughter was coming into town. I was trying to get a lot of stuff done so that I could spend time with her. And I was up till 12 and 1 and then trying to get up in the morning, at 6:30 so that I can be at work. And I'm just like, who am I to talk about self-love? Because I'm like the worst at it. So that is my Achilles heel. My opportunity for growth is to be more loving and caring to myself. And so the fact I had technical difficulties and my screen was like totally white, like I couldn't see anything, just cracked me up. I had to laugh. And I was really grateful that I'd posted James Finley's meditation the day before. So I went, okay, I guess that's what everyone gets to listen to. And I hope that you took an opportunity to do that. So let's just take a moment and let's drop in together. Just feel your feet on the floor. Feel yourself supported by the chair. Go ahead and lift your shoulders up to your ears. And tight, 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 tight. And then just relax them. And so I invite you to close or lower your eyes, whatever's most comfortable for you. And let's take 3 deep breaths together. Starting from empty. Everything started from the void. And let's take a big breath in. And let it out with a sigh. And again. Pause for a moment. And let it out with a sigh. And one last time, big breath in. And just allow your breath to return to its own natural rhythm. Notice any places in your body where you may be carrying a little extra tension, maybe some stress. Just send a little extra love, breathing love into those areas. Knowing that right here, right now, you are taking the time to take care of you and to connect with God. Just knowing that all truly is well in this moment, leaving behind anything that's come before, you can pick it up in 10 minutes. And anything that's to come, it's the future. There's nothing we can do about it right now anyway. And just be fully present as much as you can in this moment. And I'd like you to focus on or think about the last time you truly did something loving and caring for yourself. And it could be as simple as choosing not to have that chocolate cake. It could be going to bed early. It could be reading that book that you've been wanting to read. Just take a moment. When was the last time that you did something really loving and caring for yourself? And for some of you, it may be like it is for me. I can more easily think of all those times I have not been so caring and loving to myself. That's okay too, whatever comes up. And I'd like you to just set aside whatever just came up for you. and give yourself a clean slate, a blank screen. What would your life be like if you were truly loving to yourself? If you treated yourself as part of the Holy Trinity of loving God, loving your neighbor, and loving yourself, what would that look like? Are there things that you would need to change or rearrange in your life in order for you to be more loving to yourself? Would you need to find some time in your day to cook better for yourself? Or maybe find time in your week where you could cook for the week, knowing that you're making some really yummy, healthy food for yourself. Doesn't mean going to bed at 30 minutes earlier so you can get into that book you've been wanting to read and just haven't found the time. Is it saying no to a commitment or to something that's really not yours to do, but you've been feeling like you needed to do it and it was this good thing to do, but realizing that maybe it's not yours to do. Maybe it's saying no to things. Maybe that's what being loving to you would be, or the change you need to make. Or maybe it's deciding that I'm going to take and have a meditation time first thing in the morning in my PJs versus trying to get dressed and ready for the day and seeming to always run out of time to talk to God. Maybe it's setting up a time where you pray or you spend time in communion with God 5 minutes a day. Maybe it's taking that bubble bath, taking that walk in the woods, carving out time for yourself in the day the same way you do when you set an appointment or a meeting with a friend, or to fulfill your other obligations, maybe at work. The time you set aside for everything else, can you also schedule time for yourself? Maybe you actually need to put it on the calendar. Just take a deep breath and breathe, and think about what life would look like if you just amped up the self-love. We often hear that you need to, put your own oxygen mask on before you can put on a child's. If you're ever traveling in an airplane, they always tell you to put your mask on first. Often if you're in a helping or healing profession, it's you can't give from an empty basket. And all of that is true. The love your neighbor as yourself automatically assumes that you are taking time for self-care, for self-love. And when you do that, then you have something to give. I very much enjoy the Richard Rohr's meditations, and there have been a series of them the last couple of weeks on different mystics. And the mystics had a way of connecting and a way of slowing down enough to catch up with themselves. And I like that. I like the idea of slowing down enough to catch up with myself. There are times I let the busyness of the world keep me from the things that matter most, from the taking time for myself, from the slowing down. So I can ponder things like the intimate immediacy of what matters most. I don't slow down. It's very hard to discern what matters most in that moment. One of the questions that was asked was, how can we learn to not treat ourselves like someone we don't want to spend time with? Let me read that again. How can we learn to not treat ourselves like someone we don't want to spend time with? We need to treat ourselves and take the time like you're doing right now to spend time with yourself, to spend time communing with your own soul, with your connection to God, with recognizing that oneness that's there and being able to feel God's love for you. How can we settle into a quiet, prayerful pondering about who we deep down really are and are called to be? And how can we be more faithful to it? So I invite you this week to take some time to really be loving to yourself, to slow down enough so that you can ponder the intimate immediacy of what matters most. You can learn to treat yourself like someone you do want to spend time with. You can settle into quiet, prayerful pondering about how you deep down, who you really are. You can take that time for self to fill up your own basket, to really feel connected to God, and from that place, have something to give. And I invite you to just find those ways this week. Do one thing to reorient your life to what you need your life to be so that you can be more loving to yourself. Let's take a big breath in together. Know that God loves you, that in taking the time for yourself, taking the time for self-love, is one of the things that you are called to do. Many blessings this week.